So, oh, you drew the bulls. Every time there's a bull goring someone. Okay, you drew the bull goring someone. That's cute. No, that's cute. It's a little bit confusing because it's not written out in words, but then I like that. Hey, I'm Joel, reads Bible. And I'm reading Bible so that you don't have to. Because it's hard for a chick to read the Bible, babe. So you shouldn't have to do it, babe. Yeah, I'll do it for you. I don't mind. I can take it. I can take it because I'm like a man, you know? I'm a big, strong man. Beach. All right, we'll stop that. I know you guys are like, can you not be sexy the whole time? Yeah, I'll try to not be sexy the whole time, but it's hard for me, okay? I do exude pure and utter beautiful sexiness, and everybody knows that. People say it all the time in the comments. They're always like, can you stop being so sexy? Don't look for those comments, but they do say that in the comments. They go, oh my goodness, you were so sexy again. Why? It's who I am in a sense. Like it's just what I don't think it's what I do as much as it's just like who I am. But we're reading the book of Exodus and we're on chapter 24 tonight. We're talking about laws after laws after laws, but the laws kind of tapered off. And God told Moses on Mount Sinai, there is going to be an angel called the Hornet who's going to come along and, well, he's going to kind of guard the way and make way for them to go and take over the lands that God has allegedly promised these people. But now we're here at chapter 24, and I honestly do not know what is going to happen next because it's always different. It's always weird. Maybe more stupid laws or maybe more cool story. Before we move on, of course, I always ask you to subscribe. And, you're joining a growing throng of people. They are legion and they are many. And they are here to learn about Bible. And I love that a lot of people are going back and watching the previous episodes and they're commenting on those. It doesn't feel like a waste. I don't have to go look back and be like, oh, 40 people watch this. It's more like 100 now. We are over 1,000 subscribers. I'll be honest with you, at the recording of this video, we are not at 1,000, but I have a sneaking suspicion by the time this is posted, there will be 1,000 subscribers. So I am grateful for all of you being here. Thank you to everyone who watches. Thank you for everyone who likes and comments on these videos. It's very important and it's very validating to me. So I appreciate each and every one of you, even the naysayers. I just wish the naysayers would bring a little bit more substance to their arguments and not just say, you don't know what you're talking about. So let's get right into it. Exodus chapter 24. Then he said to Moses, God speaking, come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. Wait, so who's Nadab? Is he new? And Abihu, the 70 of the elders of Israel. So there was a time when no one else could come up there. People were just meant to look at, oh, look, God's talking to Moses and Aaron, which never happened in the movie. But I want a closer look. But if I step on the mountain, I will be killed by my peers, stoned and or shot with an arrow. So I'll just look from here. But now it's like, hey, send up 70 elders. They're like, are you sure? Let Abihu step on the mountain first. If he isn't stoned to death, then I'll go, You are to worship at a distance. Oh, they're not supposed to get too close. You are to worship at a distance, but Moses alone is to approach the Lord. The others must not come near, and the people may not come up with him. When Moses went and told the people all the Lord's words and laws, they responded with one voice. They're really digging into 2 million people speaking in unison. I was doing that as a joke, but it turns out that they're actually doing it. Everything the Lord has said, we will do. Moses then wrote down everything the Lord had said. He got up early the next morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain and set up 12 stone pillars representing the 12 tribes of Israel. I know that we've had genealogies and we've talked about all the different characters, but do we know of the 12 tribes yet? Or is this like the first mention of there being 12 separate tribes? I know that there were divisions coming out of Egypt, and I assumed that they were tribes. I'm not entirely sure if we've had this 12 tribe thing spelled out for us, but I could be wrong. Then he sent young Israelite men, and they offered burnt offerings and sacrificed young bulls as fellowship offerings to the Lord. They already have, altar boys. All right, boys, run along. Run along with your cute little butts. Sacrifice those bulls, boys. The boys are sacrificing the bulls. Moses took half of the blood and put it in bowls, and the other half he sprinkled on the altar. Disgusting. Just gross. Ugh, what are you doing? I'm sprinkling blood. I don't know why. He likes it. I think he likes it. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it to the people. They responded, "We will do everything the Lord has said. We will obey." They're all like, they all have one they are legion. They all have one, hive mind. This is where we're getting some really weird sci-fi ideas. We have the horned angel comes, creates a hive mind of Hebrews who are like, "We will do what the Lord commands." And Moses is like, "I guess this is a very hypnotic covenant book that I just wrote down. I have a book of the covenant." I think that is what he wrote down. Maybe that's what this is that we're reading now. Who knows? It's like the Never-Ending Story. I don't know if you've ever read that book, but the book that is written in the Never-Ending Story is the Never-Ending Story that you're reading. It goes in a loop. So maybe that's what's happening here. It's like, this is the book of the covenant, and Moses read it, and it started with, "In the beginning, God created," and you actually start having to read that, and then it folds into itself and eventually explodes. Would be nice if that were to happen, just because you end up losing the book. Moses then took the blood, sprinkled it on the people. What? And said, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words." Are you serious? Is this fine to you? Like sprinkling blood on the people? This is the disgusting blood covenant that this demented God wants from you. You guys get animal blood just fired into your faces, sprinkled into your faces. I think I've had those moments where just like different fluids fly around. I was spraying my bushes with some, insecticide, and it's just like, oh, I got it in my face. It's in my mouth. You know what I mean? I can't imagine what that would be like if it was animal blood. I would be absolutely repulsed. Is this a beautiful thing? Is this a good thing? Does this like, oh no, it harkens forward to other blood that we really do like, the wonderful blood, because we love blood. Like, what is going on? How has anyone in this modern age read this and been like, nice, I worship it. I'm worshiping this. I find nothing wrong with this. Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel went up and saw the God of Israel. They saw him. They saw the God. No one can see God and live. Well, 74 people went up and saw God. Under his feet was something like a pavement made of sapphire, clear as the sky itself. Pretty neat. But God did not raise his hand against these leaders of the Israelites. They saw God and they ate and drank. You cannot see God and live. Why does anyone ever talk about Jacob? Like, Jacob is one of those ones, he says, "You saw us and lived." And everyone goes, well, he kind of saw him. He turned his back, blah, blah, blah. Here, God could have killed them. He would have killed them because of the rule, probably. And yet they saw God and they ate and they drank. They had a meal with the guy. What? By the way, it's really cool, this idea of like this pavement made of sapphire, clear as the sky itself. That's cool imagery. If you picture that, and God is standing on it. It's kind of cool, but then at the same time, it feels very rudimentary. My imagination is of a particular time. It's an ancient imagination. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and stay here, and I will give you the tablets of stone with the law and commands I have written for their instruction." I think that's going to be way more than 10. That's going to be the other however many we just read. He's actually going to give them a massive, he's like, these are really heavy. These are really heavy. What is the font size on these tablets, God? I mean, you're writing countless laws at like 12 point into a stone. I mean, that is really fine craftsmanship, God. I'm impressed. What is this? New Times Hebrew? What's the font? New Times Hebrew? Some of it looks like wingding. Oh, you did a smiley face. Okay. So, you drew the bulls. Every time there's a bull goring someone. Okay, you drew the bull goring someone. That's cute. That's cute. It's a little bit confusing because it's not written out in words, but then I like that. Okay, that's really neat. I love comics. I love a nice comic. Then Moses set out with Joshua, his aide, and Moses went up the mountain of God. Everyone can go up the mountain, it seems. We got 70 elders, 2 strangers, Moses and Aaron, and now Joshua. He said I could come. I did fight the battle of the hands held high, and I know it wasn't really me; it was more Moses. But pleased to meet you. Great to meet you. Heard a lot about you. It's nice to finally put a face to the name. By the way, am I allowed to look at your face? He said to the elders, "Wait here for us until we come back to you. Aaron and Hur are with you, and anyone involved in a dispute can go to them." Where's Hur come from? I guess Hur wasn't up the mountain. They were up, and then they went back down. This part of the narrative gets a little bit confusing, but all we know is that they saw God. When Moses went up the mountain, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. For 6 days the cloud covered the mountain, and on the 7th day the Lord called to Moses from within the cloud. Oh, that's just Moses just... Joshua, right? What are you doing? Yeah. Did you bring bread? I hope it doesn't have any. Okay, cool. He hates yeast. You want to make some roast lamb or something? I don't know why he invited us up that early. Sometimes you got to wait for him. It's his timeline. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he answers with yes. Sometimes he answers with no. Sometimes he answers with wait a while. You just got to give it time, and eventually, yeah. Oh yes, God. 7th day. Oh yeah, yes, God. What did you need? To the Israelites, the glory of the Lord looked like a consuming fire on the top of a mountain. It's a cloud, but then it looks like a fire. Then Moses entered the cloud as he went up the mountain, and he stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Okay, all right. So that was a little bit confusing. We have a lot of people that get to see God and have a meal with him, and then they come back down. And then God gives him all the commandments, not just the 10 commandments, but all the, kill a sorceress. That's important. Write that down on the original tablets. And then we go back up the mountain, not all the way. Seems like it's like halfway. Joshua just kind of hangs out there. Moses goes the rest of the way. It looks like the mountain's on fire, but it's just really a cloud. And then Moses stays there for 40 days and 40 nights. That is clear as mud. I think we got there. I think we understand what's happening. I could have done a better job with describing it, I think. That's all. I think I could have done a better job. Sorry. I get it. This was written by ancient people, word of mouth, shepherds, possibly illiterate. All right. But if anybody watching this thinks that a God wrote this, that's nuts. All right. Obviously not. Any human with any ability to write coherently would do a far better job describing what's happening there. But I think I did get it. I think I do understand what's happening. And we're going to find out what goes on the top of the mountain. Maybe, maybe he'll come down and be like, I was literally in Narnia. I was with Tumnus. I had Turkish delight. Maybe that's what's going to happen. But we'll see what happens in chapter 25. Hey, look, if you haven't subscribed, you're a moron. Like the video, comment on it, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.